So I want to do a video because I know that a lot of people are feeling frustrated by the fact that Joe Biden is most likely going to be inaugurated, that they've impeached President Trump for a second time. It feels hopeless, I'm sure, to some. If you are feeling that way, I encourage you not to. And I want to give you some understanding and insight um, that that I believe I have been given from the higher sources or information that I get um, given to me through telepathy, through meditation, through prayer, however you want to see it. Um, and I just want to let you know that yes, Biden is going to be inaugurated on January 21st. So please don't expect crazy things to happen. You hear a lot of people talking about that's going to be the time of arrest and all kinds of things. But I just want to encourage you to just try to stay grounded, pray, meditate, trust, and believe that the future is going to be promising. Um, Stop buying into all the fear. That's what they want. That's what the bad guys want. They want fear. They um, they want you to stay in fear. And I know a lot of people are like, Trump betrayed us and everything of that nature. And some of the videos that he's done, I have not liked very much because I feel like he's, basically said these people that showed up to support him, the millions that, or the hundreds and thousands of them that showed up on January 6th to support him and were let into the Capitol, which we know and we've seen, and I'm sure that Trump knows this too, that they were let into the Capitol. But if you read between the lines in his message, I think that what he's trying to say is that the people who caused the violence. So there was many, many people that we have seen now, and photos that came out that they were not causing any violence. They were taking selfies, some of them taking selfies with cops. They were walking peacefully to express their voices. Yes, there were a few people that were probably even patriots that were upset that were like, I'm ready to just take the establishment down. And we know that Antifa helped incite and encourage some of the violence and the destruction that went on. That's their MO. We know destruction is their MO. We've seen that all through the summer play out. So and we know that they were there because we were told that they were going to have hats on backwards, MAGA hats on that were going to be backwards. And the guy breaking the window had a backwards MAGA hat. So we know that he was Antifa. He even had a Trump supporter who grabbed him and took him down so he stopped breaking things. Trump supporters actually that were in the Capitol stopped some of the Antifa people from doing more damage and causing more harm. So right now also they're rolling out all this military in all the capitals across 50 states, and especially in DC. I've heard and seen of people saying that, go support Trump at your state capital. I've seen little things like that, and it's like, do not buy into it. Um, the FBI, most of them are very corrupt. There are some good guys in there for sure, and bless their hearts because they've got to work against a very corrupt system, which is not easy. Um, However, just stay grounded and try to find as much peace as you can in the fact that you are going to see Biden be inaugurated on January 21st. You are not going to see some mass arrest happening. Um, even if potentially some arrests are potentially happening even now and on the 21st or even slightly after the 21st, you are not going to see those in the news. Um, Hopefully, some of them could get leaked out, but it's going to be very hard to know what is what and what's real and what's not because this is a psyops war. This is a war and a battle of the spiritual and the minds of humanity. This there is, of course, there's some physical, stuff going on that we see, the riots and the protesting, but mainly this is a psyops war. So I just want you to be very focused on the fact that all will be okay. things have to play out in different ways. And if you were expecting all of this to play out in a certain way because you were reading post from that, 17th letter of the alphabet letter, um, and you were like, no, we know it's going to play out this way because it said that in this post. Understand that things change. Timelines are involved here. You have timeline manipulation by different beings, groups of beings that don't always want the best outcome. So they are going to be trying to manipulate timelines. So, yes, this 17 letter may have been telling us some information and insight as best they can, but there's also timeline manipulation. So some of this stuff that has been outlined and shown through the Looking Glass project, uh, there are many sides that have access to the Looking Glass project. Let's just put it that way. And they know how to then manipulate outcomes, which will now have to make the good guys change their plans. So I'm just putting all that out there so that you understand that this is not, there's a ton of moving pieces to this. And there's a ton of moving pieces because not just in our country, America, are there a ton of moving pieces, because things that are good intention, like President Trump calling everybody to peacefully let their voices be heard on January 6th when everything was supposed to play out, okay? January 6th was supposed to play out to him presenting evidence and people, patriots being like in just at Washington on the Capitol lawn, just kind of there singing and praising and doing their voices. However, you had, patriots are already upset. They're already feeling pressure, and you have so much fake news that's been spewed out to us that we don't know, how much of our freedoms are going to be taken away if this actually doesn't play out the way we think it will. There's so much tension and emotions going on in America right now that all it took was a few bad apples, actors, Antifa actors, to rile up the situation, break into the White House, and then a few bad actors opening back doors to the White House so that patriots could then, and asking them basically to come into the White House. So all it took was that. And then now all of the plans that the 17 letter had and Trump had are laid awry, right? They're like, oh, well, now we have to juggle everything and kind of do all this. And so Trump is in a spot to where he kind of has to play a new scene, a new kind of, he had to juggle some of the things that they were hoping would have been able to come out at that point. But now, because of everything that's played out, because of the bad guys coming in and manipulating the situation, manipulating the timelines, like I've said, they have to rejuggle the plans. But that's okay. I mean, in the end, God wins, right? You keep hearing that. So just hold on to that no matter what. Hold on to that thought, because that is true. However, like I said, there's a lot playing out in America, but also things have changed throughout this process. Even up until January 6th, things changed because they didn't know about the Vatican. They didn't know about the satellite and the Vatican being involved, and the depth that of the involvement there. Not just the depth of the involvement in Italy, but there are things that are, not just Italy's involvement, but there are some other countries that kind of popped up in all of this. I think they had an idea about Iran, and for sure we all knew CCP because that was just being given to us. But there's also I think, some things going on. There's some things going on in Berlin and Germany. There's some things going on in Canada. There's some things going on, in Russia. So it's playing out globally. There's a lot of different moving pieces, and there's good guys and bad guys everywhere. So always remember that too. um, timelines, good guys and bad guys, and in multiple timelines, good guys and bad guys in the aliens that are assisting us, and also those that are trying to maintain the grid and the control. So it's this is a lot of information I'm putting out there, and I know that I just want to let people know that do not give up hope. I know it looks bleak, and yes, you are going to see in the mass media mainstream news Biden being inaugurated, and if you watch the mass mainstream news and you are not real happy about Biden being a president, um, it's probably going to be very disheartening because they're really going to lay it on thick. They're gonna gloat and gloat and gloat how he's the president. Okay, so if you watch, I would say if you are disheartened by that, try to stay away from the mainstream media news. Try to do other things. Focus on other things. One of the things that I want to let people know and encourage them to be focused on is this bless her heart lady here. She was also touted many times as a 17-letter person. And I just want to let you know that she is bringing articles of impeachment on the very first day once Biden is inaugurated. So this is showing you a path to start laying out the process because of the events that have unfolded, and they've had to change and shuffle plans. Now it's showing you the path. Good and light and love will always prevail. Just remember that. And this is showing you the path that they're going to start being able to present evidence. So maybe this was all a good thing. Like even the good guys, like even Trump and 17-letter alphabet team people, even they are like, to a degree, still having to think and live in these human fleshly forms inside of them, inside of a gridded off time and space earth, and they even have their limitations. The only one who doesn't have limitations is God, the above all, be all, great creator, love, energy, source of everything and everything. So it's always going to work. I mean, things can be shuffled around and things can be like, oh, what happened? Well, it's all right because God's got this. Just know that. And now you'll even see, even I believe even Trump and even the 17-letter people are going to be like, oh, okay, God's going to make sure that this happens in a better way. And like I was putting a post out there to somebody and I said, you know, if they would have forced Trump in office, if they would have forced him as a president and this country being so divided, it would have actually caused, I think, more harm. Okay. And I believe that by things playing out this way, it's like the path of least resistance. And that's what that loving spirit creator knows, is that maybe the path of least resistance is the best way to go because it's flowing. That path of least resistance, like water, will flow, and all of this stuff can flow, and eventually, it will all flow into a big, huge ocean of love and acceptance and understanding and freedom, and it will be okay. So, let things play out. I mean, don't get disheartened. You don't have to watch the inauguration, if it helps to not watch it, that's fine. If you do watch it, like I've said in my other video, turn the sound off and look at body language, because body language will give you a better insight to people's true intentions because of telepathy. And that's how I know some of this, because I feel energy from other people because I have so much, like I can hear thoughts and send thoughts, and I've been able to do this most of my life. I block it sometimes, and the grid, of course, blocks it, and our society and our culture and things of that nature it's easy to block things, but whenever you get into meditation or prayer, you can open that up and really anybody can do it. We all have telepathy and remote viewing, and we all have the ability to talk to aliens and to God and anybody, everybody, because we are a part of that. We are all part of that one great source, so we are all connected in that way. But the main thing is just try to stay calm and just hold love and truth for these people that are going to now be in the positions to do things like show all the truth that needs to come out. So this bless her heart lady, she is going to put the articles of impeachment towards, Biden on his very first day, and I think she'll have support. Like I think Josh will support her. I think there's some other guys that'll support her out there, some other people in the party that are gonna start raising their voices and support her. And in the background, she's got a lot of support. She's got a lot of military support. She's got a lot of support from, everybody who's still loyal to Trump. So don't lose faith. And even if they do get this whole impeachment thing and Trump can't be run again in 2024, even if that happens, I've said this in another video, that is okay because it's very possible that we would just get a more stronger spirited, like opinionated version of Trump. Like imagine Trump 5 times fold, and imagine Trump kind of as whoever this person is going to be, as a reincarnated JFK, basically, with a lot of Trump spirit too. I mean, that person will, in 2024, hold on to that thought and that vibrational energy, because that person, if you can imagine a reincarnated JFK along with a incredible chick like Candace Owens maybe, or this lady here, as president and vice president team, I mean, just hold this space for some really amazing things to happen in the next 2022 and 2024, because it's coming. Okay. And also, don't forget that in this omnibus bill, this huge, crazy omnibus bill, there's a little thing tucked down in there. Don't forget about this, because in about 170 days from now, there is the whole disclosure that is able to take place, because that was in the bill. So we will be finding out a lot more information about our realms and worlds and alien worlds, that which is going to help impact and awaken other people, because the disclosure is going to be pretty big, and people that never believed in this are going to have some like, oh my gosh, really? Yeah, really. So that's going to take place in about 170 days. So remember that too. Anyway, I hope that this helps people to understand, and that when things do play out, I hope I'm going to try to share this video for people so that they're not disheartened, because there is a lot of good things that are going to be happening and taking place, and some of it, maybe the reason that all of this played out this way is because it had to play out this way for the less harm of the whole and the greater good for humanity. And we're going to see a lot of really incredible things happening, and some of these charges, and you thought people that were going to get arrested and things of that nature, I think it's going to play out through this impeachment process. So stand your ground, be peaceful, and meditate and pray. Thank you.